Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sip&Awe, where God puts the awe in awesome. I'm your host, Brandon Lee Windsor. Today's guest for the next 3 episodes is my buddy, Clay Hines. But before we get started with the show, couple announcements, few smackaronis. I don't even know what a smackaroni is. You can now buy me a cup of coffee. You can do that in the link in the description below. And if you are tired of your wardrobe, don't forget that you can now buy Sip&Awe merch from Bonfire. Bonfire has been a really cool source because basically what it is, it's a website that makes and ships off my stuff. I just design it. It's really, really sweet. Very helpful for someone who, like me, cannot do such things. So go to my website down on the link below from Bonfire and get some stuff. You can now listen to Sip&Awe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and like and subscribe on YouTube and share this podcast. Let's get in there and meet my buddy, Clay Hines. And we are live. What is up, Clay?
We back.
We're back. What's up, Clay? Ooh, baby. Okay. Thank you, Lord, for this day, for the He has made for you and me. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Clay, let me just tell you, you're one of the biggest coffee addicts I know, and I love that about you.
It's honestly really bad. Like how? Okay, let's think about this for a minute. When we were in ministry together, how many times would I get up in breaks in whatever we were doing just to go get coffee? And we had like a commercial grade coffee pot.
We did.
So it was not like a normal, it was not like a 12-cup pot. It was like a 24-cup pot.
Yeah.
How many times did I actually drink the entire thing myself?
Plenty of times. I can't even count.
It's too many to count.
It's
too many to count.
It's too much. But like Clay said, me and him met in ministry together. I think me and Clay just hit it off right off the bat. We got very close very quickly.
Yeah.
And Clay was a joy to be with. He was so fun, super sassy. Okay.
Oh, lots changed in these days.
The sass level. But Clay, I just want to first of all just thank you because the subject that we're going to be talking about, or subjects that we'll be hitting on today, may seem touchy, may seem people might like get upset, but the fact that you're vulnerable enough to share your story and to share your experiences, I'm just super thankful. So I just kind of want to just give it off to you. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start before go? Do you want to start when you were a child?
Oh,
after go?
I don't know. I mean, why don't we just talk about how we met and then how we got to be close and then just go from there? I mean, I think that's honestly the easiest way to give context.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, go
ahead. You want to
go? Like before coming to go, I was a troubled teen.
Mm-hmm.
Like drug addiction and everything else. Like I was a big drinker. I think in the summer of my senior year, I drank every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not like, oh, we drank a little bit. No, we would each get a 12-pack and slam a 12-pack.
Yeah.
Every single night.
Man, I don't know how you do it, Clay, because that
was
do not like
alcohol.
alcohol.
Summer.
Gosh.
And the cocaine and everything else. Well, when that came all crashing down, it was like I started from ground zero. I got sober and I got clean, and then came to go. So, and then that's where we met.
Right. Let me ask you this: did you get clean because of go, or did you get clean because something happened before go?
No, I got clean before go. Not because of go, but for myself, because I was doing it to mask a lot of pain and handle a lot of issues that I really didn't know how to talk about or felt comfortable talking about with my parents.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, like Clay said, me and him met in Go Ministries. And for those people who don't know what Go is, Go Ministries was a internship, a ministry based out in Shreveport, Louisiana, mainly focused towards youth and kids ministry. So we would travel around the country, we would do youth events with drama, worship, all that jazz. Super fun. And so basically you could just take a chance, take a year, go to this internship and spend a whole year with God. You can stay for 10 years. You can stay for 1 year. You can even stay for 3 months. Cause I've seen people leave mid
Yeah.
internship year. And so that's where me and Clay met. What's funny, I don't remember our first interactions, but I just remember you being so welcoming because you just wanted to hang out with me right off the bat. You're like, hey, let's go. We're going to go to Target or we're going to go drive around. And
I don't remember our first interaction. I really don't.
yeah,
Um, and like when you're there, the first like 2-ish months, it's like the first month or 2-ish months, you can't leave by yourself.
yeah, you need a buddy system, right?
Like you have a buddy system and you can't just leave by yourself. After that first 2 months, you've kind of like proven yourself.
Yeah,
So then you can leave on your own.
right.
And we all shared location with each other. We all knew where everyone was at, like at all times. So it was no big deal. But I remember you and I both hit it off because you liked coffee and I hit that. And I knew that you did right off the bat. So I got you and I said, hey, get in my car. We're going to go get coffee. And you were like, okay.
Like, okay.
And it was like 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
It was late. And the sun is like, it's in the summer. So the sun is just going down.
Right.
And we drove to Rhino and Uptown.
Yeah.
We drove to the Uptown location over in Highland in Shreveport. And we went to Rhino, and that was the first time we hung out.
Yeah.
And then we literally hung out every single day after that.
Yeah, I remember us. We got very close. I remember it was you, me, Jacob, and blasting music, driving around, causing trouble.
Oh, what did we do one time? We went and did something one time.
The craziest thing we did, and this might not even seem crazy to some people, but we went to Porsche. We went to a Porsche dealership.
Oh, yes.
And
it was like late too.
It was like 10 o'clock, 10:30, maybe even 11. And you went to the car and you tried to open it and the alarm went off. You're like, oh my God, get in the car. We all ran and got in the car and you sped off, dude. Yeah.
And I remember this so well because we were because we took off driving and Cardi B was blasting with the windows down.
Dude, we had Cardi B, Clay screaming on the top of his lungs, me and Jacob being little rascals. It was fun. It was a good time. So I really cherish our friendship. And what I love about our friendship still is me and you haven't really talked in a while, but every time we come back, it's like we never left. And that's what I love about our friendship.
We never missed a beat.
Yeah.
Like even whenever I came up for Sean and Serena's wedding, Sean and I got just like, you and I, Sean and I got close.
Yeah.
When we were in ministry together. And then Serena and I grew up together. Serena's like a sister.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I wasn't going to miss that wedding for anything in the world.
Hey guys, I just want to come on here real quick and say thank you so much for tuning into this episode. If you have a friend or a family member that you know will enjoy this episode, stop what you're doing and send it to them right now. If this is a message that they need, or if you know that they'll just enjoy it, send it their way so we can keep growing the Sip&Awe family. All right, guys, thank you for sharing. Let's get back to the episode.
I had just gone through that breakup on July 31st because I had heard God specifically tell me to leave the life that I was living completely behind.
Yeah.
And that if I did it, God would bless me with a wife and kids.
Yeah.
And this was a feeling that I had been having for a long time.
Yeah.
That I needed to do, because this is the thing. I knew that I wanted to be married with a wife and kids, but I didn't know how to get to that point.
Right.
And finally one day God really showed up and said, do it. I was like, okay. And that's the thing. When God comes knocking at your door and the Holy Spirit convicts you, you have two choices.
Yeah.
To either answer that or to completely blatantly ignore it.
Yeah.
And I was put in that position where the Holy Spirit was like, hey, this is what I want you to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, this is not just like, oh, I'm making a small change about life here. No, this was an entire life change.
Right. And so, kind of like, because I know before Go, you struggled with this. For the people who don't know, we're talking about homosexuality. And so I
Yeah.
know, talk about what were your struggles with before Go? So I know that it was a issue before Go. So was it because
It
your
was,
family
yeah.
told you that you were gay? Was it because society told you, or was it an actual belief that you had?
It was society.
Okay, tell us about that.
It was society. I grew up in a very small town, 1,200 people.
Mhm.
And growing up in this tiny little town, you know, it's all it is ranching and farming. That's all it is where I'm from.
Mhm.
And if you don't fit the mold of that, then, oh, you must be gay because you like nicer things or you dress differently or whatever. You must be gay.
Mhm.
So from the time I was 6 years old, people would sit there telling me, oh, he's gay. You're gay. Just accept it. You're gay. It's okay to be gay. You're gay. You're gay. You're gay.
What were you doing at 6 for someone to say that you were gay? Were you interested in like playing with dolls, or did you dress up when you were a kid? Like, what made people say
No,
that you were gay at 6 years old?
no, because I talk different.
Oh, okay.
I talked different. I acted more refined than other people that were my age.
Okay.
6 years old, and this kid's coming out and he's freaking dressed good that he dressed himself.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about me. Like, I dress good. I know I look homeless right now,
No,
but
Clay cleans up well.
like, I clean up
Fly
very
dog.
well.
Yes, you do.
And people took advantage of that.
Hmm.
And so from the time I was 6 years old up until I graduated high school, I struggled with it.
Mm.
And struggling with your identity is not something to play around with.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very emotional experience, especially when something like that,
Yeah.
the core of your being, is being attacked
Mm-hmm.
and being manipulated. It's honestly one of the hardest things to get through.
Right. Talk about how, because I'm pretty sure there was like, no, I'm not gay. No, I'm not gay. But then there was that moment,
Oh,
like, you know
yeah.
what? Well, maybe everyone's right. I mean, everyone says that I'm gay. Maybe I am gay. When did that happen?
Ooh, that happened. I want to say it was my sophomore year of high school.
Yeah, your sophomore year. Okay.
Like sophomore year of high school, I'm pretty sure is when that happened. So I had gotten into a multitude of things. I started seeing older men. I was 17.
Well, and how old were
Um,
they when you were 17? Like, can you give us an age range?
like 30.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
was 17, they were
gosh.
30. There was even a time where I really considered dropping out of high school. I had just turned 18. Dropping out of that high school, transferring up to one in San Antonio, and running away to move in with this guy.
Mm,
And everything seemed promising. He was wealthy. I mean, everything checked out.
yeah. Do you know where that guy is now?
No.
No. Okay.
I think went to jail for something.
Mm,
I'm not entirely sure.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I just kind of think about like it's like if I were to end up with that guy, what would have happened? And it's like look at him today. He's in jail or he's
Yeah,
not where
exactly.
you
No,
know.
that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So was this when did you come to go? How old were you when you came to Go Ministries?
19.
Okay, so from 17 and 19, what happened?
I had hit rock bottom. My parents had found out about everything that I was doing, minus the older men part.
Hmm. Yeah.
But they had found out about the drugs and the alcohol and that I was sleeping with other people in town.
Hmm.
And that happened very quickly.
Hmm.
and I got clean, got sober, and I fully prepared myself to go into ministry completely devoted to it. And that's what I did.
Did you have any struggles within Go, or did you have any temptations? Like one night you're out driving around and you're just like, you know what? I'm going to go party, or I'm going to go do this, and no one's ever going to know. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. My first year in Go, I went on probation.
Mm-hmm. Can you kind of talk about what probation was in ministry for those who don't know?
Yeah. So probation, if we were caught doing something, which most of the time it had to be pretty bad to do. Like you had to be caught drinking, or you had to be caught smoking, or using, or whatever. It had to be pretty extreme to actually go on probation. And when you will go on probation, the leaders determine the amount of time it's going to be for, and your behavior during that time really determines how long it's going to last.
Yeah.
I was on probation for 60 days.
Wow.
That's a long time. It was 30 or 60 days. I don't remember how long it was. Oh gosh, I need to ask Josh how long it was.
Yeah, and when you're on probation, you can't be by yourself, right? You're always supervised.
No, you can't be by yourself. You are on 24/7 watch.
Mm-hmm.
And for my situation, I was on watch 24/7.
Mm-hmm. And some people might go ahead.
So what had happened is I got caught vaping, smoking weed.
Oh, Clay.
And I had been caught going to a bar in downtown Shreveport at 19.
Oh my!
I wasn't even 20. I wasn't even out of my teens. And
it's funny, Clay. I remember you telling me you see that bar right there. They sell drinks.
Yeah.
They sell drinks to underage men. How do I know? Because I've been there.
Like, yes, we were driving. You had wanted to see downtown Shreveport because it was like your first day there. Like you were like dropped off by your youth pastor.
Yep.
And you were like, I haven't seen Shreveport yet. Like, I want to go see it. It was like the first week.
It's so funny. You always see that bar right there. They sell drinks to underage boys.
We're just driving down the road, and it's like 11 o'clock at night, and that bar is pumping.
That's so funny. Was it the Blind Tiger? Was that the bar? You don't remember what it was called?
No, Blind Tiger is a Cajun restaurant that I would go to in downtown Shreveport, and it's so good. Every time I go to Shreveport, I make it a point to go there.
Yeah. Me and my wife went the day after our wedding for dinner. The best.
It's so good.
So good.
Their gumbo is probably like
the freaking best.
And that's the thing. Like my best friend is Cajun.
Mm-hmm.
And so like anytime I'm with him or his family, they cook Cajun meal, like real Cajun stuff. And so his parents have a house in Galveston. So I've been with him to the house multiple times, and his dad is a phenomenal cook.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes this gumbo, and it's like a true Cajun gumbo.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminds me of when I lived in Louisiana, when we lived in Shreveport. And it like the Blind Tiger is the only thing that has come close to that gumbo.
Good. You a crawfish fan?
Oh, I could tear up some crawfish.
Son, what's funny, the first time I ever had crawfish was at someone's birthday party. We went to Crawdaddy's. Never had crawfish. And Jeff Post was like, hey, you can just try one of mine, and then if you like it, you can get some. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm just going to get 3.5 pounds. And so I did. Never had it. Freaking loved it. But I'll be honest. I do love crawfish sausage way more than crawfish.
Really?
I do. The sausage is so good. Like, I could live off of that sausage.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm a weirdo. Yeah.
But yeah, so we were driving downtown Shreveport, and I was showing you like where all the casinos are and all that stuff.
There's a strip club, there's a casino, there's a bar.
I was like, yeah, there's the Hustler strip club, there's 1 casino, 2 casino, 3, all the casinos.
Yeah.
And then we were driving under the bridge that goes across the river, the one that goes by Margaritaville.
Mm-hmm.
And we were driving under that bridge, and I looked over, and there's that bar. And I said, oh, yeah, so, you heard about me going on probation last year. That's the bar that I got caught at.
You want to go? I'm just kidding.
And I looked at you. I said, "You want to go?" Just kidding. We're not doing that. I was like, "I'm not doing that to you, and I'm not going back on probation. I can't do it."
You're like, don't tell anyone.
I got so. There was one night I will never forget it, and I'm not proud of this at all. I got so drunk at that bar. And this was back on the weekends when we didn't have to be back until like 1 a.m. Like we could be out late. Like even when I go out in college, I don't stay out that late. Like I'm home by 1. Like in my bed, asleep by 1. If I go out on the weekends, like I'm weird now. I hate it. But anyways, that's besides the point. We didn't have to be back until 1. I got so drunk with a group of people that I was with that were also in the ministry. And which you and Sean have talked about this like countless times, and you know who it is, but that's besides the point. We got so drunk, and one of us had to drive home. I could not drive. We were in my car.
Yeah.
And I am plastered. And you know how there's the aquarium down there in that same area?
Yeah.
I walked from the bar, went behind those shrubs behind the aquarium, peed, threw up, walked back to my car.
You're like, all right, I'm better. I feel better.
I came out of the bushes. I'm like, okay, guys, I made it.
Speaking of that fountain, did you remember you got out of your car, you took off your shoes, and you jumped in the fountain?
Yes. We were just driving around. Like, we spent a lot of time in my car.
We did. Your car was a hangout spot.
Like, my car was the hangout spot. Like, me, you, and Jake all the time. Like, that's what we did. Like, we drove around. We listened to music. We drank too much coffee and Polar Pops because they were 39 freaking cents.
Praise God, baby.
Oh.
Polar Pop. Yeah.
Circle K.
Praise break.
May she reign forever. But no, I remember there's that fountain outside the convention center, and we were turning, and there were no cars. It was in the middle of COVID.
Yes.
Remember, we had just gotten back from Guatemala.
Yeah.
No one was there. The casinos were shut down. The hotels were shut down. The bars were shut down. No one was freaking open. And I just see this fountain, and it's hot. Like, it was in the middle of the summer. We had just gotten back from Guatemala. It's hotter than a hooker on parole. And I just stopped the car, throw it in a park, and I take off my flip-flops, and I just said, "Watch this."
Yeah.
And I fully dived into this fountain. Thankfully, I had a change of clothes in the back. But I was just like, "Watch this." And we pulled off to some sketchy 7-Eleven. And they were like the only gas station that you could go into because the bathrooms were outside. And we went in there and I changed, and we just kept driving around.
Oh man, good times, Clay.
Oh my gosh,
good times.
That's a trip down memory lane right there.
My goodness. Well, we're gonna have to wrap up this first episode. Time flies by when we do this. But thank you for listening to Sip&Awe. It's such a joy to have you on, Clay. But you can now listen to Sip&Awe on Spotify and Apple Podcast, and you can now buy me a cup of coffee. You can now get Sip&Awe merch. So if you want to do that, go ahead and I'll put the link in the description below. But don't worry, Clay is coming back for part 2 and part 3. So stay tuned. Love y'all. We'll see y'all next week.